Hello and welcome again to our webinar, training webinars. This is a webinar on how to run a simulator. So before we dive into that, first of all, my name is Jenna. I'll be running you through the training. And if you have any questions along the way, feel free to just leave them in the Q&A or the chat. I'll check both. We will get to those at the end, just so we're not kind of going back and forth. And a quick note about our next webinar. It'll be May 20. 2 p.m. Eastern time, and it's going to be on tournament best practices. I'm excited about this one because we're taking some of our customer service team who have years of experience of running tournaments, and we're going to tell you kind of our experience on how to run a good tournament, what makes a good tournament, what breaks the tournament, different scenarios of how we try to run a good event and make it something that people want to come back to and play. So I'm sure you get an email about that from us shortly. It's available to register for now, and registration will come out soon. So keep an eye out on your email for that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. This is a tournament that I'm running actually next weekend. So in your tournament menu, you should all have a simulator button. So we will go ahead and click on that. And you should be brought to a page that looks kind of like this. This is your test center. The simulator is your test center. So it's really important to use because it is your tool to build your tournament day. And that way you're not so stressed out once registration closes down and you're like, shoot, did I overbook my tournament? I don't know what to do. So we'll go through some of this tournament here, and I'll show you what I did here. And then we'll run through some various scenarios and kind of keep messing around. You really can't break the simulator. It's, like I said, there to be a test center for you. Okay, so you can see, I just want to point your attention to actually this first. Here's your day. So we're going to get started and work on our Saturday first. If we have time, we'll go to Sunday. A couple things to pay attention to. Make sure your courts are set up right. We're using next available courts. And the number of teams to test is right here. So 5 teams we're testing is going to be in that event. I've got a round robin format set up. You can use the drop down menu to change that to whatever you want. You can mess around with start times. You can put all the start times at the same time and then kind of break it out from there. And then the amount that you'll play to, right? So if I have 5 teams, I would probably do a double round robin to 11 and with just the one pool. It's up to you and how you want to finagle everything. But I'll show you, again, different scenarios that we can test out. I also want to point your attention to here. There is only 3 teams that are registered. Both means both people from the team are registered. Otherwise, you'd have only one. If only one person from the team was registered, that's where that would be. Wait list is if both members of the team are on the wait list, and WL only one means only one person from the team is on the wait list. So that's something to pay attention to. And then if you scroll to the right here, you'll see include in live event. I haven't included the one with 3 teams in it yet because we don't quite have enough to make a full bracket out of it. So I've kind of said, okay, this one might be canceled. It might get merged into another division. You'll notice too, I don't have a 3, 5, 10 to 49 event because nobody signed up for it, oddly enough. And so I disabled it because registration closes down on tomorrow, actually. So I didn't want just one team signing up for it when we have a wait list on a couple other events. So that one shut down. So this one, these people may get contacted because there's only 3 teams in it. And we might say, hey, do you want a refund or do you want to play just with 3 teams or get combined? Yeah, we may cancel it. It just kind of depends on how the last day of registration goes. So that's why that one's out for now. Update live event. That's important as you build your schedule. And as you get more detailed with how you're going to play, you can, and arrange your start times, you can update your event kind of in the background to say, okay, this one's going to start at, this one's going to start at 10 o'clock. And then it would kind of on the back end put that start time in there. It wouldn't be available to the public until you make your start times available to the public, but it updates it on the back end so it's less work for you in the long run. For now, though, I'll just leave it at 8. Okay, so moving on here, we have 4 teams here, 4 teams there. I would probably do a double round robin to 15 with 4 teams. You can see I've got 1 in the wait list, but only 1 person of the team is registered. So we'll leave that one for now. And then if this team fully registers, this is what I would do. I'd go to 5 teams. I'd maybe make this a double round robin to 11. Again, depending on how much time I have, and then save the day. So for now, though, we'll leave it at 4 because that's what we have. To 15 usually takes about 25 minutes or so. Okay, and then this team, we have 7 here, 7 there. For a bracket of 7, I usually do a round robin to 15. You can see I've got 1 team on the wait list. So let's see if I've got room to move to 8 teams. You can see here I automatically moved it to 2 pools of 4. I'm going to change that back to 1 pool. We'll see if I have the time to do that. So that's one thing where, again, I've got 1 on the wait list. I'll see if I have room to add them and keep working. This one, again, I was already testing out. Okay, do I have 1 to register here? I could, maybe, I don't know. So right now we have 1 registered, so we'll leave that as is. And again, 1 pool. I'll scroll down and see if I have any yet that have, oh, I do here. Okay, perfect. So here's one where I have 9 teams registered, but there is 1 on the wait list. And ideally, I would love to get that to 10 teams so I can split them into 2 pools. So this is where, like I said, normally it's on 1 pool, but here, we'll do this from scratch here. So this is what it normally looks like, right? Like just like this one here. So, if I do 2 pools of 5, I would do a round robin to 15 probably. And then let's see if I have time to add everyone to a playoff after that. So we'll do a single elimination after that. Medal matches, pre-medal matches, those are all good. And then, yeah, no custom settings. You can do something like this too, where you have your top 2 teams from each pool. So 2 teams from pool A, 2 teams from pool B. So you can see that'd be a total of 4. And then you can customize that as well. So you could say first and second go straight to a gold, silver medal match, and third and fourth go straight to a bronze. That's one way you could cut it down if you needed to, if you didn't have the time. We usually like to just, if we have the time, everybody can move on. If not, then you can do the top 2. Again, it's up to you to determine what you have the time and space for by especially using this simulator. So let's see here. We have 2 teams on the wait list here. So I'm gonna keep that at 8 until everybody gets registered. And you just keep going down. So you can see I've kind of started to adjust some of my start times just as a rough estimation here. And just kept picking away at what I can do, okay? So let's go back to the very top. You can see save this day. So we're gonna save it. And then we're gonna take a peek at what our schedule looks like. So I'm gonna say view schedule. And then this is what we're looking at here. I can scroll down, there we go. So for now, we are looking like we will get done around 5:45 here. Yeah, maybe 6, a little after 6 or so. That's really not too bad. And we do have lights out there, so we do have room to add a couple of teams. So again, this is where I'd go back. I go to, oops, you guys can't see that. There's a little settings. I don't know why this is cutting my screen off here, but something to figure out. There's a little settings button right above where my mouse is, and it takes you right back to the simulator screen here. And this is one where I could go back and say, all right, I have one team on the wait list here. Then I could go to a double round robin to 11. I could keep that at 8 for now. And then just going back and looking at, you know, how many teams I have on the wait list and what do I have room for, right? So this one doesn't have anyone on the wait list, so we'll move that one back down to 4. Okay, keep going. We'll leave that at 10 for now. This one has 2 teams on the wait list, so I'm going to test this one out and see if we have time to add those other 2 teams in there. Again, moving this all to 25. Just I'm figuring a round robin to 15, and then games to 15 for the elimination part. And then we'll just keep picking away. Let's see. This one I'm going to keep off because again, if I want to add them in, I probably want 10 teams. So I really want to see 2 on the wait list before I add that in. Okay, and then we'll save this day and see what happens. Sometimes it does take a minute because it is building an entire tournament schedule for you. And I'm also running a webinar, so sorry about that. Should be done. There we go. Okay, and then view schedule right at the top here. And then again, we're just scrolling over to see how long this day takes. And again, we're done at like 5 o'clock again. So it's really not too big of a deal. I could even squish my start times in a little bit. Here's what you want to look out for, okay? So you can probably barely see this, but up at the top, it says W3. So that's W3 means how many teams are waiting. So if we keep that start time at 2 o'clock, we might have 3 teams waiting at the time because it looks like our 11 o'clock bracket is going to push over into our 2 o'clocks. So again, this is something that we can adjust. And if it's fine for that overlap if you don't mind, especially if you're using next available, it's going to be fine. You can deal with a couple teams waiting for a short amount of time. If you have a lot of teams waiting, I want to say I helped run Beer City Open last year, and I want to say at one point we had about 8 or 9 or 10 teams waiting for maybe 30 minutes, and then things start filtering through. That's a double elimination tournament. So things start filtering through very quickly after a couple teams get eliminated, and then it starts moving very quickly. So you just want to make sure that you don't have, you know, a lot of teams waiting for a long time. And for Beer City Open, that tournament has 20 courts that they have access to. So that's a little different than a place with like 8 courts or 10 courts or 4 courts or whatever it is. So you have to kind of keep that in mind with how many teams you want waiting and what works for you. But for this facility, with about 10 courts and I would say 3 would be fine. But if I want to build in that wiggle room, let's say I move this start time to 2:15, save the day again. Hopefully it doesn't take quite as long this time. But yeah, it can take up to like a minute or so just to build that schedule. We're going to click view schedule again at the top. And then let's check that 2 o'clock time. Right, so now I've moved it over. I still have at about 2:15 now, I still have those 3 teams waiting. So I could push it out even more, maybe to like 245. So just keep looking for those bottlenecks, especially if you're running a round robin tournament. Keep looking for those bottlenecks and see if you need to change anything. I like a little bit of wiggle room, and we're not done like too late. So I probably will push that out, that start time out just a little bit more, or maybe I start one bracket at 2, another one at 2:15, another one at 2:30, just to kind of filter through to accommodate you can see it's like staggered here of when things will get finished. Or maybe I take this bracket here and I say, okay, we don't quite have room or the time to do, I think this was a bracket of 6 teams, if I remember correctly. And I usually, for six is a tough one. You could do like round robin to 11. Sometimes we do a double round to 11. Round robin to 15 is pretty good. We've also done a round robin to 11 and then like a playoff afterwards to 15. You can kind of finagle it how you want, but for me, 6 is a tough one because we want to give people a lot of play. My philosophy is I would love for people to complain about so much play than not enough. So again, that kind of goes into the tournament best practices thing. It's really up to you and how you want to run your tournaments, what you want to give people, what you have time for. This is something where if I don't quite have the time, I may cut that back just a little bit. So again, you kind of keep cutting, or not cutting, finagling what you have. And then let's go to Sunday, May 18 and check that day. We are running a fun little, it's a parent-child or grandparent-grandchild type event. And we've set this up so that it doesn't go to duper. It's just for fun kind of a thing. So yeah, this is a fun little thing for moms and dads or grandparents to get involved with their kids. We've had like older moms and dads with older sons and even like super young ones with, I think one kid last year played with his great grandma. Super, super cute. That is neither here nor there though. So yeah, we would just, same thing. So 7 teams there. We've got 4 in that one. Keep scrolling down here. We have 5 in this one, so that's good. This is one again. I don't think I included it because we only have 2 teams registered. So I'm going to leave that one out for now, and they probably will get a phone call saying, "Hey, do you want to get combined, or would you want to play just up a bracket?" So keep moving down. We have 7 now in that bracket. So round robin to 15 for me there. I think my goal was to get to 7 in this one. I would love, again, I just don't like 6. It's just such a hard number to decide how to give them enough play. This one, I'm going to do 10 here and just see if we can get to 10 with a little playoff. And then we'll go to 15. If we don't, if I have 9 teams, I usually do round robin to 11 and play everybody. But if I can get to 10, that's sweet, and I can split them up too. Mixed 4-0 50 plus. So this is one where I have this one off. Same thing here. I'll probably ask if they want to, I probably will combine them into the 4-0. So this is good here. So this is one example where you can kind of see, I'm going to exclude this one, but I would probably put them in the 10 to 49 and just combine the divisions, right? So that they can play together. So by turning the 50 plus one off, I can kind of put them in put them into a like all age. This one would probably turn into an all age event. So we can again make sure that one's yes, that one's not included. And then you can see here again, I have a couple people on wait list, so I will leave that at 7. I'll update that. I will show you that update live event as well in just a sec. And then making sure everything is correct here. All right, so I'm going to go back up and save the day. And then copy settings to live events. This will update events that are not verified and with the update live event set to yes. Events will split with splits will only update max player count. So if you save this and you update your max players, it would automatically add in the players from a wait list. It would also update your start times and update your format just in the background. It doesn't update because there's no option that says playing to 15 or playing to 11, but you can go in your event and set that up as well. You can just, I usually do it when I verify my events on the live console. So I'm going to update this, and then we're going to view the schedule for Sunday. So we have the parent, child, grandparent, grandchild stuff happening in the morning, and then the regular event happening at 12, so our regular mixed doubles day. So you can see here I have just a little bit of space built in, and that's okay to have there if I wanted time for a little turnover to get kind of reset up for mixed, or some people did ask if they could play in both, which was fine. So if they needed a little bit of a break, but as you see, I do have room to move that over if I needed to. Keep scrolling over to see, it looks like my 3 o'clock start time is good here. So I have a 12 o'clock start time and another round of brackets coming in at about 3 o'clock. So I've got about, looks like a 5-minute or so window. So that's good. If you have time and you want a little bit more of a window, just bump them out just a little bit more. But it looks like for this day, looking like we'll end at around 6:45, which is a great and easy day. So I do have a little wiggle room there if I wanted to push it out some more. So that's kind of an overview of your simulator. Just use that constantly to go through your event. And you can still do, say you end up with 3 teams on the wait list. Just come in here and say, okay, I'm going to change that to 10 teams, and do I have room to add them in? Or just use this as your test center to say, what can I do? What do I have time for? What do I want to allow? What do I need to cut down? But it really is there to help build your schedule come tournament day. So let's move over to the live Q&A. All right, it looks like we had a couple people message saying that, I'm just typing back to Claire. So hopefully people were able to view that. Because I was just getting a couple messages that it wasn't streaming for some reason. So anyhow, you'll get an email if you are one of those and not able to see it. So, okay, so Q&A. Do you use the same amount of time in the simulator for round robin, bronze match, and gold medal? That's a really good question. So for gold medal matches and bronze matches, I would say honestly it depends on the division. For sure for like 4-0, for sure 4-5 and above. Sometimes for 4-0, I'll account for if I do gold and silver, bronze matches. I might give them a little extra time. Also in a maybe 50 plus or 60 plus bracket, you probably want to account for sure extra time for a 60 plus bracket. In my experience, those have run a little bit more on the slow side. For some reason, I've on the opposite end of things, to be fair, we also have had a super social young bracket, and they just needed to stay on track, if you will. They ended up running a little late because they were super social. So it's just one of those things. So it depends on how big your facility is, right? If they're all doing like designated courts and all together, you can kind of account for that, or just add the little buffer in your start times to account for some of those nuances. I actually played in a tournament last weekend, and that tournament director told me he had a match that somehow went an hour and 40 minutes. We have no idea how that happened. He has no idea how it happened. They thought, they were joking that they were talking between every single point. Again, it's a very strange circumstance, but stuff like that does happen. And that's why for me personally, I like a little bit of a buffer in between my brackets, whether that's 10 minutes, it just helps. So if I have multiple events starting at the same time with a number of games that exceeds the number of courts, the simulator usually pushes the start of one or more events till later. Is there a way around this to visualize all the events to start at the same time? So the simulator, it visually pushes the event, yes, but you can see at the very top, it'll say like the W, like in my example, there was a time where I had 3 teams waiting. So look for the W's, and that's more what you want to pay attention to. So yes, you will visually see it shifted, but that doesn't mean that that's how you have to do it. So in my example at 2 o'clock, I had that little bottleneck. Again, super small, 3 teams, not a super big deal. I do have the choice to still start them at 2 o'clock, and then I can run that through. It's just like the simulator just simulates how your day could go. Then the other brackets would, be just a hair later, and that one would end up starting. It's just like the visualization of the simulator graphic will, the simulator graphic will push that over. So, but again, that doesn't mean that you have to run it that way. 3.0s probably run longer too. I don't find that 3.0s run longer. My 3.0s it depends on area too, right? Like I think for each tournament director, it's just something to learn. In my experience, it's been the 60 plus brackets and the higher level brackets that have been consistently on the slower-ish end, but not too much. But then the other, like the points are quicker in lower levels, so that kind of makes the bracket run a little quicker. It's just kind of one of those things where you just have to do a tournament or two and find out what your average times are. How long did it take you? Do you always have to update live events, or can you manually do it afterwards? Good question. You do not have to always update your live events. In fact, I wouldn't recommend it really until you have room, right? So for this event, because it's next weekend, registration closes down. And so I know I have room, or at least a little bit of wiggle room. And so I'm fine updating all my live events when I know that I want to make the decision. So you don't have to update or copy your settings to the live events until you know you want to make the decision to do it. Otherwise, you can leave those settings off. All right. If there's any other questions, pop them in there a second. And then again, tournament best practices is going to be May 20, so keep an eye out for that email. You'll get an email after this as well with this recording. There is a training on our YouTube page. If you just go to YouTube, Pickleball Play Solutions is the YouTube channel. There's trainings in there. One's on the simulator as well. That one's more like 5 minutes though, instead of 30 or whatever this was, 25 minutes or so. So that kind of runs through the various scenarios as well. We're trying to build a little bit of a training database for you guys on YouTube. And then we're working on embedding little help articles within the tournament itself too. So good question. What's the biggest pool you can run in a round robin? I don't actually know. I think, let's see here. Well, it goes to 200. I think the biggest pool that I've seen, honestly, is, I want to say 48. Could that be? Somebody tried, yeah, 8 pools of 6. That would make sense. I don't see a lot of. We just had last weekend, no, 2 weekends ago, the Earth Day Open, and that one was 24 teams. And we had a couple guys drop. It was an open division, and we ended up with 21. And yeah, we did 3 pools of 5 and 1 pool of 6. It was either 21 or 22 teams. So I don't see a lot of pools over probably 20, I would say. I would say that event last couple weekends ago was on the larger side, but that's because it's an open division. Otherwise, I probably would have, if it wasn't an open division with prize money, I probably would have split them up. But again, that's just me and how I like to run things. I think with 20 different teams going for 1 medal, I don't know if you have the time and space for it and you don't want to combine your brackets, by all means, go for it. But for me, I'd probably split it up, like split my ages so that it's 10 and 10, or just split it one more time so that they have a better chance of getting a medal. So unless it's a double elimination, you could do that too with 20 teams, and that would make a little bit more sense. Walter, the number of matches is Walt, that math is, that's above me. I believe you though. So pool of 5 is 5 times 4 divided by 2, or 10 matches. Pool of 8, yes, it's 28 matches. I think that makes sense. Yes, but the system figures out all of the matches for you, right? So yeah, you could do 15 matches single. Yeah, you could kind of mess with it, but the system does all the matches for you. So, okay, if there's no other questions, just keep an eye out on your email and look for the tournament best practices next time. If you guys have anything you want training on, anything that you want to learn how to do, if you have any ideas on what you want to see for upcoming webinar, just feel free to let me know, and I'd love to hear if you have suggestions. So I hope you guys have a really wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Feel free to message our support team, support@pickleball.com, if you have questions on training. Again, our YouTube page, just Google Pickleball Play Solutions YouTube. It should pop right up for you. Lots of training stuff there. So have a really great day, you guys. Bye.